By 1990, Michael Jackson had established himself as one of the biggest pop stars in the world. An avid gamer himself, Michael would work with Sega to adapt his anthology movie of the same name into one of the most unusual games of its time. What's up, Moonwalkers? Steve from Mass Replay here to welcome you to another episode of Arcade Economy, or as Scott likes to call it,
Arcade Economy.
On this series, we look at arcade classics to determine how much they cost to beat and just how fair they were to our bank account. Last time on Arcade Economy, we entered the Royal Rumble in WWF WrestleFest. Today, we're saving the children from the clutches of Mr. Big in Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Just how much did it cost to get through Michael Jackson's Moonwalker to beat it? As always, that's what we're going to find out. By 1990, Michael Jackson was arguably the most famous person on the planet. Coming off the massive success of his Bad album and his 1988 anthology film Moonwalker, Jackson was on top of the world. After the release of Moonwalker, Jackson and Sega would work together to create a video game tie-in to the movie. But unlike other video game movie tie-ins, which often appear as blatant cash grabs, this game came directly from Jackson's own fascination with the video game industry. During a trip to Japan, Jackson specifically requested to visit Sega's headquarters. He was incredibly drawn to Sega's hardware capabilities, particularly the synthesized music coming out of games like Outrun, a game well known for its soundtrack. Jackson befriended the Sega team, and a few months later, Sega executives found themselves flying to Jackson's studio to pitch him on a new game. Okay, so maybe it was a little bit of a cash grab. Jackson was so interested in the game that he reportedly sat on his floor with Sega developers for hours, combing through the design sheets and giving his direct input and approval. Sega decided to put the project on their powerful System 18 hardware. Early design concepts came from Yutaka Sugano, the legendary creator of Shinobi. Sugano initially envisioned an isometric game controlled by a trackball. While the trackball idea was eventually scrapped in favor of a standard 8-way joystick and a 2-button layout, the isometric perspective remained. The hardware allowed Sega to do things that home consoles couldn't handle at the time. The System 18 board featured a dedicated sound chip that pushed incredibly clear, digitized renditions of Jackson's hits, along with pristine voice samples. I don't know why, but this will never not be funny to me.
It's funny every time.
Sega dropped a big hit onto the arcade floor in the summer of 1990, setting the stage for one of the most unique celebrity video game crossovers in history. Just before this game hit the arcade, home computer owners were treated to a much different version of Moonwalker, adapting much more of the movie that the arcade version left out. Home console versions of the game were developed in tandem with the arcade version and released a few months after it hit the arcade floor. The Sega Genesis Mega Drive version released first, with an 8-bit Master System version coming a few months after. The gameplay was completely different than the arcade version. Instead of an isometric view, console versions featured 2D side-scroller gameplay similar to Shinobi. In each level, Michael has to rescue kidnapped children trapped in closets in order to progress to the next level. After Moonwalker, Michael Jackson would continue to have a small presence on a bunch of other video games. It's rumored that he was an uncredited composer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. He had a cameo appearance on both Space Channel 5 games.
Thank you so much.
And he was an unlockable character in Ready to Rumble Round 2, which he lended his non-stage voice for.
They call me the King of Pop.
To be honest, I thought that's just how he sounded all the time. The only other Michael Jackson-centered video game would release in 2010, more than a full year after the pop star's death. Michael Jackson: The Experience was a Let's Dance clone that sold to unsurprisingly mixed reviews. Now, although I never played Michael Jackson's Moonwalker back in its heyday, I've always been aware of this game. What I was not aware of prior to making this video and doing some research was that this game was based off of the aforementioned anthology movie. So I felt like this was something I should probably watch before writing this script and filming this video, and boy, what a wild ride that was. If you've never seen this movie and for some reason are planning on diving into it, then I hope you have your mind-altering drugs ready, because I think that might be the only way you can make sense of what's going on. Also, Joe Pesci? I don't know how he ever agreed to this. Anyway, the game loosely follows the plot of the already loosely plotted movie, focusing only on the smooth criminal segment. Joe Pesci plays the evil Frankie Mr. Big Ladeo, who is enacting his Bugs to Drugs campaign, attempting to get the entire world addicted to drugs, starting with the children.
Bugs and drugs. Bugs and drugs. Smooth operation. That's what I got.
It's up to Michael Jackson to use the power of magic and dance to save the children and stop Mr. Big's evil plan. Now, as we talk about the gameplay of this game, I want to note that I did play through this game twice. First with the other half of Mastery Play Scott, and then second solo. The arcade cabinet features up to 3 playable characters, all playing as magically infused Michael Jackson, each in a different colored outfit. Now, this game is classified as an isometric beat 'em up, but personally I think it's more of a run and gun. I mean, most of the enemies you face in this game do shoot projectiles at you, and your attacks themselves are both short and ranged projectiles. The cabinet is equipped with an 8-way joystick and 2 buttons, attack and dance. Pushing attack will fire an energy blast at enemies, and holding it will cause you to moonwalk and charge it up for a ranged projectile. If you are in close quarters with your enemies, then you will do a melee attack. The dance button is Michael Jackson's screen clearing move, which will cause everyone on screen to be overcome with the power of dance, only to be immediately vaporized from existence afterwards. What a way to go, huh? Use this sparingly though, as they are limited in number. There are also 3 different dance animations, one where Michael throws his hat, one where a field of green energy expands from Michael, and one where a blast comes down from the sky. In the end, this is all for show, as they all do the same thing. The objective of the game is to go through each level, defeating every enemy and saving all of the children kidnapped by Mr. Big. Some of the kids will reward you with health and dance power-ups after being saved. Michael Jackson's real-life pet chimpanzee Bubbles also makes an appearance in each level, and when you come in contact with him, it'll turn you into, Mecha Jackson. Because at this point, why not, right? This increases your shoot speed and movement speed, and your charged attack now fires rockets. The Bubbles Mecha power-up appears near the end of each level, and just before the boss battles. And speaking of levels, Moonwalker has 5 of them, most of which are taken directly from the movie. Each level also features a very catchy digitized version of Michael Jackson's music. The first level is the Cavern level, featuring the track Bad. Level 2 is the Amusement Quarter, featuring the track Smooth Criminal. Level 3 is Night Street, featuring the track Beat It. Level 4 is the Graveyard, and while this would make too much sense for this track to be Thriller, apparently there were licensing issues, so instead they used Another Part of Me. It's absolutely criminal to not have Thriller on this level, and while I guess I can understand the licensing issue, they could have at least had the zombies do the Thriller dance. I mean, come on. The final level is the Evil Fortress and features a reprise of Bad. And after you beat the game, the end credits play to the track of Billie Jean. When it comes to bosses, the first level doesn't feature any. This is what we call the hook. Make level 1 easy so that you feel accomplished and get comfortable with the game. The second level boss is a giant armored forklift looking thing. It'll spin around and shoot fireballs at you, so try and face its armored side to avoid them. The level 3 boss features Mr. Big in his laser shooting hovercraft. Much like the forklift boss, you'll have to avoid the direction where the hovercraft is facing to avoid being shot. The craft is also surrounded by small hovering robots that also shoot lasers, so try and take those out first. In level 4, Mr. Big is at it again with his ghost generating machine, which, much like everything else in this game, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. The easiest way to beat this boss is to take out the top turbine and then stand in its place while firing down at the other 2. This should eliminate the other 2 pretty quickly, while also killing any ghosts that try to attack you. For the final boss, Mr. Big appears in a mechanism that fires in all directions and takes on damage only when it opens up. There are very small, tight areas where you can avoid his fire, but he will continue to move, so you'll have to move with him. While it is technically possible to avoid damage, I do think it's highly unlikely in this boss fight. After you defeat Mr. Big, Michael Jackson will transform into a spaceship and soar away towards the distant horizon. But what of the children that he saved? Well, they're smiling, because deep down in their hearts, they know that Michael will return one day to share with them another wondrous and magical adventure. We're all thinking it. Weird endings and story aside, this game was surprisingly a lot more fun than I was expecting, and a lot easier than I was expecting too. It was also very short. And now it's time to determine just how much we spent to beat Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. If you're new here, what we do with these games is we play them on emulator on their default settings and set up a counter to increase every time we hit the insert coin button. For Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, each coin gave us 2 lives. And like I said before, I did play this with Scott on 2-player mode, and then I also played it solo, but I did 2-player first, so let's start with that one. At the end of the game, I spent just $2 or 8 credits, and Scott spent $1.75 or 7 credits. And now if we're adjusting for inflation, $2 in 1990 would feel like spending $5.02 today. Now this was one of the shorter games that we've played, taking us only 25 minutes to beat, and bringing our cost per minute to only 8 cents per minute. For the bosses, I spent no continues on the forklift, 25 cents on the hovercraft, 25 cents on the ghost machine, and 25 cents on the final encounter with Mr. Big, bringing my boss total to only 75 cents. Now playing this game solo, I only spent 50 cents more, bringing my total to $2.50 or 10 credits to beat the game. And adjusting for inflation, $2.50 in 1990 would feel like spending $6.27 today. It actually took me a shorter time to beat solo, only 23 minutes, bringing my solo cost per minute to only 11 cents. And surprisingly, when playing solo, I didn't spend any continues on any of the bosses. All of my deaths came when I was just overrun by enemies in the regular game. And now it's time to determine just how predatory Michael Jackson's Moonwalker was, and I hope that sentence does not get taken out of context. No, the predatory game scale is something that we do here to determine just how unfair games were when it came to taking your money. In my experience, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker is extraordinarily fair. 8 cents and 11 cents per minute is really low. There's really no learning curve at all, and the controls are really easy and fluid. The continue system is normal, you can just quarter feed your way through if you would like, but it's also just an incredibly fun game with some really catchy digitized tunes. I didn't notice anything unfair about it, I didn't notice any unavoidable damage, although I do think at that final boss fight, it might be hard to avoid that damage, but I do think it is possible. But I actually think this is one of the most fair games that I've played so far. Projectiles are really slow moving and you can really get out of the way to avoid them. There are a couple times where you do get overpowered by enemies on screen, but that's kind of what your dance move is used for. I guess my only gripes with this game are that sometimes the isometric camera can be hard to aim, especially during boss fights, and the game is just really short. But with all that said and done, on the predatory games scale, with 1 being extremely not predatory and 10 being extremely predatory, I'm going to give Michael Jackson's Moonwalker a 2 out of 10. A little bit longer of a game, and I think this would actually go to a 1. Do you agree or disagree with my rating? Be sure to tell me why. Sound off in the comments below, and I will do my best to reply. Now, can you play Michael Jackson's Moonwalker today? Unfortunately, this version of this game has never been ported to home consoles or PC or computers or anything, so the only way that you can play it is either by emulating it or finding it in the wild. Next time on Arcade Economy, I hope your allowance was big, because we're traveling to Outworld to take on Mortal Kombat 2. If you'd like to support Mass Replay and Arcade Economy, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member or a patron on Patreon. And at the $5 level, you'll get extra videos every month, all videos ad-free. Plus, with the launch of this video, you'll also get access to the director's cut of my Arcade Economy videos, featuring extra footage that didn't make it into the final video, mostly added on the history section. You can also support us at the producer level and get your name shouted out in my videos. And with that, a big shout out to our producers of this video, Jake Weed, Tanner Trezza, Pezmage, and John Forhan. Thank you guys for your support. It means everything to me. But hey, just you guys watching this video supports me as well, so thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully you'll see me on my next videos. Thanks for watching.